Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
See you there behind the veil. Truth and lies, they start to pale. You think your words can hide the sin, but I can see what burns within. Come closer now, don't turn away. Something dark to say. Fire spreads with every breath, dancing close to living death. Oh, the darkness calls your name. Nothing stays the same. You're blowing smoke into the night, trying to hide from burning light. I see through every twisted game. You're blowing smoke, but I remain. The truth will rise, the lies will triumph.
Hello, all you creepy crawlers, and welcome back to another Blowing Smoke podcast with Kimiko, Kusanagi. And we have a special treat today. Boy, do we have an episode for you. It's that time of year again, Thanksgiving, the holiday of gratitude, family gatherings, and stuffing yourself silly with turkey and pie. But let's be real. Behind the Norman Rockwell facade, Thanksgiving has a dark side. We're not talking about dry turkey or awkward political arguments at the table. No. Today we're blowing the smoke away from the real horror stories tied to this holiday. Murders, betrayal, historical atrocities, and family nightmares that went horribly wrong. These aren't your made-up ghost tales. These are documented events that happened on or around Thanksgiving. So light up and listen in. Let's feast on the fears. We'll start with the roots of the holiday itself, the dark truths behind that so-called first Thanksgiving. Stick around, and this one's going to leave you completely unsettled. Let's kick this off by rewinding the clock. You know, the story that they taught us all in school, Pilgrims and Native Americans sitting down for a peaceful feast in 1621, sharing corn and turkey, all harmony and thanks. But that's the sanitized version. The real horror? It starts even earlier, and it's soaked in blood, betrayal, and genocide. First off, that Plymouth feast wasn't even the original Thanksgiving. Flash back to 1565, in St. Augustine, Florida, over 50 years before the Pilgrims showed up. Spanish settlers, led by Pedro Menendez de Alvarez, landed and held a Catholic mass and feasted with the local Timucua tribe. They shared stew, wine, and whatever the Timucua brought. Maybe maize or squash. Sounds quaint, right? But this peace was a facade. The Spanish were there to conquer and convert. The Timucua imitated the mass to keep things civil, but soon relations turned quite deadly. The natives were forced into slave labor, building forts like Castillo de San Marcos. Plagues wiped out thousands, wars erupted, and that fort became a prison where Native Americans, Timucua, Seminole, Apache, were tortured and died in droves. Ghosts still haunt that place today, and people report seeing spirits of native men wandering the cells, or the Seminole chief, Oscala, leaping from the ramparts, forever seeking escape. And this pattern, it repeated up north with the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag. That 1621 feast, came after a plague decimated the tribe, killing over half their people, likely brought on by the Europeans. Chief Massasoit signed a treaty for peace, but after his death, his sons watched settlers steal land. By 1675, it exploded into King Philip's War, named after Massasoit's son, Metacomet. Colonists massacred neutral tribes like the Narga, Naragan set, burning villages and killing 600 in one attack. The war slaughtered 30% of New England's English and over half the Native American population. Metacomet was beheaded, his head displayed on a pike for years. And get this, when Abraham Lincoln made Thanksgiving official in 1863, it was right after the Dakota War of 1862, where starving Dakota Sioux rebelled against corrupt agents withholding food. Lincoln ordered 38 Dakota men hanged in a mass execution. Gratitude? More like holiday built on graves. Every year since 1970, Wampanoag descendants gather in Plymouth not to celebrate, but to mourn their ancestors. So next time you carve that turkey, remember, Thanksgiving's origins are a horror story of broken promises and stolen lives. Now we're going to move on to The Cannibal Wife. Omema Nelson's Thanksgiving Slaughter. All right, let's move from history to something more visceral. True crime on Thanksgiving Day. Now imagine, it's 1991, Costa Mesa, California. The air smells like roasting turkey, families are laughing over football, but in one apartment, 23-year-old Omema Nelson is turning her honeymoon into a nightmare. Omema, an Egyptian-born model, had married 56-year-old Bill Nelson just weeks earlier. Bill was smitten, but Omema had a dark past, abuse, trauma. On Thanksgiving Day, things snapped. She accused Bill of assaulting her, then stabbed him repeatedly with scissors in the chest and stomach. But it didn't stop there. She beat him with an iron. She strangled him and castrated him. Then the real horror. She dismembered his body, cooked parts of it, including his head in the oven, and allegedly ate his ribs, claiming later that it was so sweet. She ground up remains in the garbage disposal, bagged others, and even asked neighbors for help disposing of turkey bones. Police found the scene days later, blood everywhere, Bill's head wrapped in foil. Omema confessed, saying it was revenge for abuse, but her story shifted. She was convicted of second-degree murder, sentenced to 27 years to life, and released on parole in 2020, but revoked after violations. This wasn't just a killing. This was a grotesque perversion of a Thanksgiving feast. A reminder that sometimes the monster at the table is the one serving the meal. The German Family Farm Massacre. Staying in the true crime lane, let's head to 1930, Poughkeepsie, New York. The Germond, spelled Germond, so Germond family, they were dairy farmers, were prepping for Thanksgiving. Joseph Germond, his wife Mabel, their daughter Bernice, 16, and their son Lawrence, 12, lived a quiet life on their farm. But on November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving, horror struck. Joseph was found bludgeoned in the barn, his skull crushed with a hammer or a pipe. Mabel and the kids were inside the house, each shot execution style. Mabel in the kitchen, Bernice in her bedroom, Lawrence in his. The killer tried to burn the house down, but the fire fizzled. No robbery, cash and valuables untouched. Suspicion fell on Arthur Curry, a handyman who argued with Joseph over money. Curry had blood on his clothes and a shaky alibi, but evidence was circumstantial. He was arrested, tried twice, the first trial ending in a hung jury, the second acquitted him. To this day, it's unsolved. Was it a drifter? A family secret? The farm stood silent that Thanksgiving, a feast never eaten. Locals whispered of ghosts in the barns, shadows of the family still wandering, a chilling tale of rural isolation turning deadly. Not all horrors end with closure. Let's take the Blount family of Jacksonville, Florida, 1971. On Thanksgiving Eve, prominent Dr. Robert Blount received a briefcase, a gift, at his office. The next day, Thanksgiving, he opened it at home and with his family around, and boom, a pipe bomb exploded, killing Robert instantly, severely injuring his wife and 2 sons. Who sent it? Theories point to a disgruntled patient or a hit tied to Robert's anti-drug work. But no arrests. The family table, meant for thanks, became a crime scene. Over 50 years later, it's still unsolved. An explosive reminder that holiday gifts can hide pure evil. Well, we'll be right back. I gotta check on this turkey, all right? So here is a commercial.
In a world that never logs off, one store dares you to bleed code. T-shirts that pulse like corrupted data. Every thread is a virus. Every print is a wound. Hoodies stitched with encrypted screams. Become the glitch. Hats that crown the last human signal. Log in before the void logs you.
Okay, so I didn't burn it. Yay! I never burn it, so don't worry about it. But let's ease off the murders a bit and dive into real-life family horrors, the kind that happen at your own table. These are pulled from actual accounts shared by people online and in articles. Not deadly, but terrifying in their awkwardness and chaos. First, a woman in Asheville brined her 25-pound turkey in trash bags, scented with Febreze. The floral stink ruined the bird. Brine spilled everywhere, and they ate it anyways. Secret kept until dessert. Pure panic. Another. A family's dog stole the entire stuffed turkey off the table, dragging it across the floor while everyone chased it. In another home, a cousin's lab did the same, turning dinner into a wrestling match. Then there's the allergic reaction gone wild. Dad ate shrimp cocktail, his face ballooned like a parade float. Hid in the kitchen, yelling compliments through swollen lips while Mom cried. Ended in the ER, no pie for anyone. Or maybe the prank gone wrong. An adopted brother checked a baby's diaper at the table, smelled it, tasted it. Turns out it was actually filled with pumpkin pie as a joke. Family freak, gagging ensued. And the ultimate betrayal. A grandma poured dish soap on the turkey instead of oil. Bubbles everywhere. Tears flowing. Dinner salvaged? Barely. These aren't just mishaps. They're the stuff of family therapy. Imagine the tension, the screams, the ruined feast. Thanksgiving horror at its most relatable. More table terrors, drunken disasters, and betrayals. Keeping with the family vibe, here's more. Now picture this. A Reddit user's oven broke, so they borrowed the elderly neighbor's key. Boyfriend checks the apartment, finds her dead on the bathroom floor. Thanksgiving? Canceled. Cops called. Another. At a volunteer meal for families at Ronald McDonald House, 12 people cooked a feast for one unaware couple who had already eaten McDonald's. They took one look and left. Volunteers ate alone, feeling like fools. Family fights? Yeah. Drunk uncles fist fighting in the dining room, flipping the table, grandpa jumping in, ended with a pawn toss and ER bills. Or a cousin spoiling Santa for a 6-year-old after a vaccine argument. Pure malice. And the affair exposed? For years, a brother-in-law and sister-in-law vanished during dinner, caught hooking up. Now they're married. Table talk? Ruined forever. These stories show sometimes the real monster is your own blood. The disappearance of Karen Mitchell. So wrapping up the crimes, Eureka, California in 1997. 16-year-old Karen Mitchell vanished on Thanksgiving Day while walking to work. Last seen getting into a car with a man resembling serial killer Robert Durst. No body, no closure. Family's holiday forever haunted by what ifs. Oh, all right. From colonial betrayals to kitchen carnage, these real Thanksgiving horrors remind us gratitude comes with shadows. Be thankful for your safe table this year, but maybe lock the doors. That's it for me, and I hope you have had your fill of the feast. But, watch your back. You stay creepy, like Kimiko Kusanagi. Happy or haunted Thanksgiving. Bye!
I trusted you with all my heart, tore my world apart, but from the ashes I have grown. Now I claim what's mine the smoke will clear. I'm still here.
It's just a couple of wavy lines. God.